So, I'm not exactly in the best of moods right now. I'm recording this the day after Money in the Bank, and if any of you saw what happened, you know why I'm not in a good mood right now. But I want to try and cheer myself up. So I'm actually going to talk about a pay-per-view that I'm really excited for. All Elite Wrestling's Double or Nothing. The inaugural event under the AEW banner that sold out well, let me look here actually, if I could find it. It's hard to say because it's not mentioning it here, but tickets sold out pretty fast for this event after they went on sale. And yeah, it's happening May 25th, this coming Saturday, at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what the Elite have up their sleeves. I'm flying solo, Coffee Lover 239. Yeah, I'll be flying solo today just because, well, everyone, I thought I'd give them a break so I could focus on All Elite Double or Nothing. We've got a good card for us tonight, or today actually, because it's a little early when I'm recording this, but we've got a good card lined up for us, and I mean, the card has had good amount of build-up with the road to Double or Nothing and the Being the Elite stuff on YouTube. Build-up has been good, so yeah, let's get into the actual card itself. Okay, this match we're starting off here with has a little bit of an odd circumstances. It was supposed to be Adam Page versus the former Neville from WWE, Pac, but apparently there was a little bit of trouble actually here, so what the hell actually genuinely happened? Well, there's been some crazy shit going on here that apparently, unfortunately, given the internet politics and pro wrestling and other stuff, yeah, then this whole mess happens. That apparently Adam Page came out to confront Pac at WrestleGate Pro, and then, well, he says he beats him up. Yeah. Basically, what am I doing? I can't even plug the audio in. I don't have it configured up to here. But basically, Pac says he isn't going to Double or Nothing and isn't going to All Elite Wrestling. So he says, yeah, he's not coming to Vegas. Not coming to AEW. Coming to Double or Nothing. So I don't even know what the hell's going on with that. It seems it's thrown this match in jeopardy because at AEW's inaugural rally in Jacksonville, Adam Page was interrupted by Pac, setting up a feud between the two wrestlers. At AEW's second rally in Las Vegas, a match between Paige and Pac was officially announced for Double or Nothing. But with what happened at WrestleGate, and who knows what the hell's even going on, there's been rumors flying around that Pac quit over creative differences. This is one thing I think that's might hurt him in the long run, is it's seemingly he might be getting a bit of an ego over this, which is a damn shame because he's actually a pretty good worker. He was the king of the cruiserweights at one point in 205 Live, and even having a Reign of Terror style run for a brief moment. And then you know what happened there. I don't want to mention his name, who dethroned him, but trust me, it hurts. But let's say hypothetically that Pac doesn't actually show up, that it's actually legit true, and that he doesn't show up. Well, if he doesn't show up, who the hell is Hangman Page gonna face? I saw Hangman Page's match at All In against Joey Janela. That was a great match. Haven't seen much else of his work, but I'm hoping it's pretty good. At least I would assume it's pretty good. And yeah, so if Pac hypothetically doesn't actually show up, where does this leave Hangman Page? Well, the rumor is that John Moxley, the former Dean Ambrose, might actually debut here. And I assume if he was going to face anyone, it would be Hangman Page. And if Pac doesn't show up. If Pac does, though, actually, and the whole thing's just a work to try and get fan interest for whatever reason, I don't know. This one is throwing me off for a loop. I suppose either way, I'm going to go with Hangman Page. Either way, regardless of whatever happens. And if there's no match at all, well, there's no match at all. Next. Our next match is a 6-man tag team match, players. The team of SoCal Uncensored, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky versus Strongheart, consisting of Shima or Shima? I don't remember exactly how it's pronounced. Apparently, yeah, it is pronounced Shima. It's confusing sometimes the way pronunciations are. But Shima, T-Hawk, and a Lindaman. Yeah, a Lindaman. Almost sound like Damien. I almost read the damn there in that last one. But yeah, Strongheart, Shima, T-Hawk, and a Lindaman versus SoCal Uncensored. So, anyways, let's see if I can get the information here. Where is it? Ah, here it is, yeah. At AEW's inaugural rally in Jacksonville, a match featuring SoCal Uncensored, you know, Daniels, Kazarian, and Sky, against Oriental Wrestling Entertainment's Shima, and 2 partners of his choosings were announced for Double or Nothing after SoCal Uncensored challenged Shima to a match. And on March 3rd, OWE announced the tag team tournament to determine who Shima's partners will be. And it was announced on May 6th that he'll team with T-Hawk and Al Lindaman. Now, I'm not familiar with any of the OWE guys or Shima. I haven't seen much of their work, to be honest. So I can't really say much for them. SoCal Uncensored, I am familiar with, at least. I'm familiar with them. I probably have seen a little bit of their work, but not a whole lot, at least, unfortunately. I would like to see more, at least, but from what I have seen, I think they've done some good work. I mean, the other guys at least seem like they could put up a good match as well, so I imagine this would be a pretty good match. As for who I think is going to win, I'm going to go with SoCal Uncensored. Next. Alright, this next match here I feel at least the most comfortable talking about. It's Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho. So on January 4th, 2018 at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 12, Kenny Omega defeated Chris Jericho in their first encounter. Omega, I believe, was the IWGP, United States champion at the time? Let me see. Yeah. IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship, and it was a no disqualification match. And a pretty good one at that. Someone's mowing. Oh wait, I know who it is. Anyways, in September, at All In, after Omega defeated Penta El Zero, aka Pentagon Jr., he was attacked by Jericho. And the following month, the two were involved in a 6-man tag team match at Jericho's Rockin' Wrestler Rager at Sea event, where Omega's team defeated Jericho. For the record here, if I could just pull it up, it was Bullet Club, Kenny, Cody, and Marty. Yeah, Kenny, Omega, Cody Rhodes, Marty Scurll. And against Alpha Club, Chris Jericho, and the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. Anyway, in January 2019, Jericho signed with AEW, and after Omega announced that he had signed with the promotion, the following month he was confronted by Jericho, and the two brawled but were separated by Cody, Christopher Daniels, and security. A rematch for Wrestle Kingdom 12 was later announced for Double or Nothing. Now, like I said, Kenny Omega's pretty much won every bout in which he and Chris Jericho were involved. I mean, he beat him in like his match at Wrestle Kingdom 12, and he beat him in that 6-man tag at the Rockin' Wrestler Rager at Sea event. So Kenny has the most wins over Jericho at the moment. But the thing with Jericho is, like, he's actually got a match upcoming at Dominion. Let me look it up. NJPW, Dominion. Yeah, the joys of doing it unscripted, ladies and gentlemen. But hey, even with barely notes. Yeah, Dominion 6.9 in Osaka Hall. Yeah, Chris Jericho will be facing Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Oh, that'll be a real good match. But yeah, looking at this though, looking at this match here, I think I'm going to go with Chris Jericho ultimately, mainly because I think Jericho will need some momentum going into his match against Okada at Dominion here. Plus, again, Kenny Omega has pretty much won in every bout, and if he goes 3-0 against Jericho, then Jericho's going to start looking like a little whipping boy against Omega. And I hate that whipping boy booking. For anyone who's talked about NXT with me and Johnny Gargano's Rise. Yeah, I don't think it'll hurt Kenny in the long run ultimately still. I mean, the promotion's still starting out, and it's still an early match, so... Or still a bit of an early one for their card. Ugh, my mind's a little frazzled here, but... Yeah. I still think they can put on a pretty good match, as they have done before. And this should be a pretty good match, but I'll go with Chris Jericho. Our next match is a triple threat women's match consisting of Britt Baker, Nyla Rose, and Kylie Rae. Yeah, Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose versus Kylie Rae. So, at AEW's inaugural rally in Jacksonville, Britt Baker announced that she had signed with AEW. The following month, during AEW's Las Vegas rally, Brandi Rhodes announced that Kylie Rae and Nyla Rose had also signed with the promotion. Following some remarks from Rae, she was interrupted by Rose, and the two had a stare down but were separated before a brawl could occur. One day later, a three-way match between Baker, Rae, and Rose was announced for the event. So yeah, I imagine all these women are pretty talented, but I don't know much about them. And hell, there's not even a Wikipedia page here for Kylie Rae, so I can't go much over here, unfortunately. I've seen that Baker has mostly done some IWC stuff, International Wrestling Cartel. It's where she debuted. She was a jobber on one episode of Raw, losing to Nia Jax in a squash match. And she did some other work at the International Wrestling Cartel. And Britt Baker was also in that four-corner survival match against Madison Rayne, Chelsea Green, and Tessa Blanchard at the All In pay-per-view event, and that match was won by Blanchard. So I have seen a little bit of her work before, but I haven't seen that much of it, unfortunately. I'd like to see more, but I just haven't had time. But from what I saw of her in that Fatal 4-Way at All In, she was pretty good. She was pretty good. Nyla Rose here, there's not much else. She was involved in WOW, CP Wick. Yeah, she was in Warriors of Wrestling, Cove Promotions, and United Pro Wrestling Association. She was women's champion in all of those organizations. 3 times in Cove Promotions. So yeah, that's really all I can say about her there. And Kylie Rae doesn't have much information. It would just take me longer to look up, but I imagine at least with this I imagine she's still probably pretty good though. This combination here at least seems like it'll put on a pretty good match. As for who I think is gonna win, I'm gonna go with Britt Baker. Alright, I feel like I can still fully talk about this match, at least for the most part. Some of these I do feel a little iffy on about not being able to provide a whole lot of information. Because this is like my first true foray about outside of WWE stuff. Like, I've dabbled a little bit with some of it, but I just haven't had time, you know. Okay, let's get on to this match. Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes. Cody versus Dustin, brother versus brother. On April 20th, 2019, after weeks of teasing opponents, it was announced that Cody would face his brother Dustin Rhodes at Double or Nothing, and in the following weeks, Cody would declare that he would defeat his brother as a way to kill the Attitude Era. Metaphorically speaking, of course, or at least the part of the Attitude Era that his brother Dustin was in. Well, Goldust. I shouldn't really have to go too much into the character of Goldust, but he's often nicknamed the Bizarre One, and for good reason. Spooky, mysterious, and sexually suggestive mannerisms and presence, and he used in-ring psychology to his advantage with lewd and flirtatious mind games to anger, confuse, and distract his opponent, utilizing tactics like groping and excessive affection towards his opponents in the midst of developing onslaught. Yeah, didn't he... Who did he have a feud against? Yeah. If you've seen his feud against Razor Ramon, you'll get a really good idea of Goldust. But this time we don't have any of those specialty gimmicks, you know, no crazy specialty gimmicks or anything like that. And Cody's not actually going to be Stardust here. Because now, like, the thing is, like, if I remember correctly, there was a match that Stardust versus Goldust, that Stardust faced against Goldust. What was it? What Fastlane was it? I'm trying to think. It must have been Fastlane 2015. Oh yeah, Fastlane. It was Fastlane 2015, wasn't it? Yep, Goldust versus Stardust. Except that match was not exactly strong, and for that matter, that pay-per-view itself wasn't that strong, but that's another topic for another day. So yeah, this time they're actually going to face off as themselves, just Cody and Dustin. So that would at least be nice, at least, just to have them face off as themselves. It's getting at least a little bit of interesting kind of build-up, even what little of it there is. As for who I think is going to win this match, I'm going to go with Cody, because, like, Dustin, at this point, he's 50, and I imagine he doesn't have much time left anyways, like, to spend. Or who knows, some of these old guys still go, and they're still wrestling. There's guys probably older than him that are still wrestling, which is crazy. But yeah, I think at least it'll probably be Dustin counting the lights for Cody, at least, because, well, yeah, getting the lights, looking up at the lights for Cody. Because Cody's younger, he's still got a lot to do. And I mean, he's one of the I don't know if I want to say one of the founders, but he's one of the executives of the organization. Executive Vice President. Along with the Bucks and Kenny. But yeah, I think Cody is going to go over in this one. Oh, hey, look. It's a good tag team match we have up next, players. We got the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson versus the Lucha Brothers, Penta El Zero M, and Phoenix in a tag team match for the AAA World Tag Team Championship. So, during the AEW Las Vegas rally, the Lucha Brothers, Penta El Zero M, and Phoenix announced that they had signed with AEW following the announcement that the duo attacked the Young Bucks. On the February 3rd, 2019, at AAW Wrestling's Art of War, the Young Bucks attacked the Lucha Bros. Again. And 2 days later, a match between the two teams was announced for the event. On March 16th, at AAA's Rey de Reyes, the Young Bucks defeated the Lucha Bros for the AAA World Tag Team Championship. And now, we've got a match here. So I am familiar with the Young Bucks' work. I've seen some of their matches that they've had in New Japan. I know they had that, it was a 6-man tag team match, actually, that they were a part of at, All In, actually. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, the Golden Elite, Kota Ibushi, Matt and Nick Jackson. They went up against Bandito, Rey Fenix. Yeah, Rey Fenix being, one half of the Lucha Bros. and Rey Mysterio before Mysterio went back to WWE. And of course, Penta El Zero had that match with Kenny Omega. But anyways, yeah, these two, I think, definitely, at least from what I've seen of the two teams, well, I've only seen the Lucha Bros separately. I mean, individually, I've seen they've done some cool stuff. Like, I mean, their matches that they had at All In. And the Young Bucks, I've seen some of their tag action that they've had in, like, New Japan and Wrestle Kingdom and stuff. I mean, they're pretty entertaining to watch, and I imagine the Lucha Bros are also pretty entertaining to watch. As for who I actually think is going to win this match, can't really say much else about it, but as for who I think is going to win, I'm actually going to go with the Lucha Bros. Next match we have is a 6-woman tag team match, players. Aja Kong, Yuka Sakazaki, and Emi Sakura versus Hikaru Shida, Riho, and Rio Mizunami. Actually, there really isn't even any kind of build-up about this match in the storyline section. The best thing I can say is that on February 8th, AEW's Las Vegas rally, Chief Brand Officer Brandy Rhodes, Cody's wife, announced the signings of Japanese women wrestlers Aja Kong and Yuka Sakazaki, who will, make their first appearances for AEW at Double or Nothing. Aja Kong, she was in All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling, actually. She was the founder of the AWN all-women professional wrestling promotion, and actually she even made some brief appearances for the World Wrestling Federation, like in 1995 as the sole survivor of a women's elimination match at Survivor Series that year by pinning all 4 members of her opposing team. So not only was she like the one, well, mostly at least, she was mostly the one to win the whole damn thing anyways. All 4 members of her opposing team, including WWF Women's Champion Alundra Blaze. Yeah, she was on fire in that match. Kong also appeared on 2 episodes of Monday Night Raw and was victorious in both bouts. During one bout, she actually broke the nose of Chaparita Asari. Kong was actually being built up as a challenger for the Women's Championship held by Alundra Blaze, and Kong was actually scheduled to face Blaze at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view event in January of 1996, but the company elected to end its women's division after Alundra Blaze showed up on WCW Monday Nitro with the WWF Women's Championship and threw the title in the garbage. Yeah, that was... oof. Oh, that was embarrassing. Yes, and Kong also, like I said, started her own promotion, AWN. She led the organization until February 12th, 2001. She did a whole bunch of freelance work, actually wrestled Awesome Kong in her Japan debut match. She even did some other freelance work in the US as well for like Chikara, Shimmer Women Athletes. Yeah. As for Yuka Sakazaki, well, she's mostly spent her career in Tokyo Joshi Pro, where she's not only the Princess of Princess Championship, she's also the Princess Tag Team Championship, well, actually is the current champ as well, with Shoko Nakajima and Mizuki. As for the other women, well, let's see. We've still got a few of them here. For Aja Kong and Yuka Sakazaki, they're teaming up with Emi Sakura, who has spent time in IWA Japan and FMW, Geto Kunyanyan. I can't read that properly right now. So apologies for the bunch. Ice Ribbon and Gato Move Pro Wrestling. She's trained a lot of wrestlers, actually. in Japan as well, including one of them, including one of her opponents on the six-woman tag match, Hikaru Shida, who we'll get to in a moment. She's won the All Japan Women's Championship, the Ironman Heavy Metalweight Championship in Dramatic Dream Team Pro Wrestling, and she's won a whole bunch of other championships in other places, like Pro Wrestling Eve Championship. She won that. She won a bunch of titles in Neo Japan Lady Pro Wrestling. She won some in JWP Joshi Podesu. And she won some in the International Wrestling Association of Japan and Ice Ribbon. Yeah. As for Hikaru Shida, well, she's mostly spent time in Ice Ribbon and other freelancing and Makai. And she's won championships in Ice Ribbon, Oz Academy, Pro Wrestling Wave, Rena X World, Revolution Championship Wrestling, and Sendai Girls Pro Wrestling. Looking at Rio here, she's also spent time in Ice Ribbon and Gato Move Pro Wrestling, won championships in those. And unfortunately, I have no information for Rio Mizunami because there's no Wikipedia page. And the only link that I get here... Oh wait, I don't even get a link here. But either way, I think seems like these women have pretty good resumes to their background, or at least their titles, I think, definitely help back them up, at least as legit enough. Sadly, I haven't seen much of their work, unfortunately, so I can't really say much. For who I think's gonna win, I'm gonna go with Aja Kong, Yuka Sakazaki, and Emi Sakura. Last but certainly not least, we have another tag team match, players, though not of the six-man variety. We have the best friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta, versus Angelico and Jack Evans. So, let's see if I can find it here. Anything? Because, yeah, if you can't tell, it seems like they're actually taking their tag division definitely seriously here for AEW. Unlike WWE, actually, who really isn't taking theirs seriously, and it's just terrible all around at the moment. This tag division actually looks like it's got some good things going for it. I mean, they do have the best friends, the Bucks, the Lucha Bros, SoCal Uncensored. Potentially, if you keep Strong Hearts around, they could be a pretty decent team. And, yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there's any background information here at all, again, for this storyline, so I'll give some background for the competitors. So the best friends, Chucky T, aka Chuck Taylor, and Trent Beretta, they first formed back in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and won the 2014 Dynamite Triumvirate Tag Team Title Tournament. Jesus, how do some people come up with some of these names? So they teamed up there, they spent some time there. They spent some time in Ring of Honor, and they've also spent time in New Japan Pro Wrestling. They made their debut during the 2017 World Tag League, representing Chaos. They scored 4 wins and 3 losses in the tournament and failed to advance to the finals. And now they are joining AEW. I don't know much about Angelico. I don't know this pronunciation stuff. Angelico and Jack Evans. Well, let's see. Angelico spent a lot of time in Lucha Libre AAA Worldwide, Toriumon, International Wrestling Revolution Group, Wrestling New Classic, Lucha Underground, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Westside Extreme Wrestling, What Culture Pro Wrestling, and now he's here. He's won championships and a whole bunch of some of those other companies I mentioned, like Lucha Libre, won the Tag Champs with Jack Evans, and won the Lucha Underground Trios Championship with Ivelesi and the Son of Havoc. And yeah, those are probably the 2 more notable ones that he won. Jack Evans as well. He's done work in Ring of Honor. Got a start there. He's also done work in TNA, Dragon Gate. Oh god, he was in the infamous Wrestling Society X. Was in Lucha Libre AAA Worldwide. Yeah, and actually, hold on, I noticed something here as well. Apparently, he re-teamed with Teddy Hart as the Hart Foundation 2.0 during his time in Lucha Libre AAA. Oh, that was interesting. He was also in Lucha Underground, returned to Pro Wrestling Guerrilla AAA, and now he's signed his back to All Elite Wrestling. Now the two apparently have teamed together. I mean, they did won the AAA World Tag Team Championship 3 times. And he's reforming his team also with Los Guerreros. Well, the team actually that they form. It doesn't mention the team here, but the team of Jericho and Jack Evans, well, at least that's their current name, but they're also known as Los Guerreros del Cielo, or in English, the Sky Blondes, or the White Boys from Heaven. Yeah, but they're just going under a more generic name at the moment. And again, yeah, Lucha Libre, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. And yeah, so it seems like both teams, again, still have some pretty impressive stuff to their names. I don't know who to pick here. To be honest, a lot of these matches do seem like they could go either way, and it would be surprising, to be honest. It's still early on, so at least I can't get too mad with whoever wins at certain times, to be honest. Yeah, as for who I think's gonna win, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pick the Best Friends. And that's gonna do it for Double or Nothing. I apologize if I wasn't usually up to snuff, but I'm still kind of learning more about some of the other outside stuff of WWE. Hopefully, I want to learn more about some of these other wrestlers and what they can bring to the table. Check out some of their other work, and see what they have. I'm still kind of learning about this partially. I mean, for a lot of people, this is like their first, I imagine, their first true break into non-WWE events here, like non-WWE shows. Like, I mean, AEW's got the backing of Shahid Khan. I mean, and he's like twice as much worth as much as Vince McMahon is, so yeah. And I mean, they're looking to distinguish themselves out. I'm looking for something different. I imagine AEW is going to be something different, and hopefully it should still be a relatively good show, actually. I hopefully also get to learn more about some of these other people, and as I keep going on and keep watching, I hope more of them as well show up. And I hope to keep covering more AEW events as well. This is their inaugural event, so yeah, we've still got a lot more to go. And when it comes to AEW, I will definitely go over Friday Fest, and maybe I may bring a guest next time to help me out. So until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.